don't have to be afraid.
Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about 10 horror movies streaming right now that I highly recommend. And let's get to the list. Out of Darkness is a 2022 British adventure horror thriller, directed by Andrew Cummings in his feature-length debut. It stars Sophia Oakley-Green and Chuku Madu. In the Stone Age, a desperate group of early humans band together in search of a new land. But when they suspect a malevolent mystical being is hunting them, the clan are forced to confront a danger they never envisioned.
قبلك النفس كقرة أفس.
So I was able to see this in theaters when it was released earlier this year, but now it's streaming for $3.99. You can rent it on YouTube, and I think it's definitely worth it. I do think it's going to be streaming on Shudder or one of these other platforms pretty soon, but I think it's a movie that's really flying under the radar, and honestly at this point it's up there as one of my favorites this year. Now I think a lot of the reason why this flew under the radar is because it's not exactly what you're expecting it to be. It confronts some fears and some things, different layers and different kind of elements than you're going to expect on the front. But that's kind of the point. And so it's a little more cerebral than your general audience is going to be into. And I'm doing my best to not spoil this because it's important that you go in as blind as you can. Because if you know the basic idea of what this movie's about and the fear and the big bad, so to speak, that it is dealing with, then it kind of ruins it. But at the same time, if you're not warned ahead of time, you might think that you're getting into something that's more creature feature, supernatural kind of thing than what you're actually going into. But it's incredibly well shot. The cinematography, the landscape is just amazing looking. But I think if you go into this like I did, without any expectations, just watch it for what it is, I think you could definitely have a good time with it.
What the? It's staying.
Sting is a 2024 Australian creature feature horror movie, written and directed by Kaya Roche Turner. It stars Ryan Corr, Alila Brown, and Penelope Mitchell. The film follows a young girl who secretly raises a spider as her pet, which then transforms into a giant monster.
You hungry? Cool. We're gonna call you Sting.
So in my last Shudder recommendation video, I talked about Infested, which is another new release spider creature feature horror movie. And where that one is a bunch of spiders like everywhere and it takes it pretty damn serious, this doesn't quite go as serious. And this is just this basically big ass spider. This in a lot of ways reminds me of the old school creature features, and that was the thing that I really loved about it. And it doesn't take it so serious. It definitely has more fun with the genre and what it's trying to do. It gets campy and silly at times, but it doesn't ever stray away from being a horror movie and having scary, creepy moments as well. But the thing that really got to me in this movie is the family dynamic, especially the stepdad and what he's going through. It's really endearing and well put together. The whole movie is well acted, it's well directed. It's just a solid little movie that is not getting as much love as I think it deserves. It's also available to rent on YouTube right now for $3.99, and I think it's definitely worth it. So if you're looking for something to just have a good time with this weekend, I think this is a fantastic pick.
It's not real. 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 What's not real? Who said that?
This is very real.
The first Omen is a 2024 supernatural horror movie, directed by Akasha Stevenson and written by Stevenson, Tim Smith, and Keith Thomas. It serves as a prequel to The Omen from 1976. It stars Nell Tiger-Free, Sonia Braga, and Ralph Ineson. The story follows a young American woman sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, but she encounters a darkness that causes her to question her faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring about the birth of evil incarnate.
You must be very careful, Margaret. Bad things will start to happen around her. Evil things.
I was just absolutely floored by this movie. It is so much better than it really has any right to be. So much more creative, artistic, well done, well put together. Just, it's not at all what I thought it was going to be going in, because we've just had so many generic religious horror movies come out. The Exorcist, Believer last year, like all these movies that just didn't give me any reason for hope that this movie could do anything different or original or creative. And it's not so much that this story is anything groundbreaking or anything that's going to blow your doors off, because if you've seen The Omen, you kind of know what happens in this movie. Yeah, there are a few little tweaks here and there, which I've heard some purists have an issue with. That's fine. But to me, if you just watch this as a movie and enjoy it for what it is, not for what it isn't, not trying to make it fit your mold, I think it's a gorgeous movie. It just oozes in style and atmosphere. It's so creepy and ominous. The set design, the directing, the pacing of it, the way it's edited, the whole cast. I mean, everything about this movie is fantastic. And talk about visuals. There's a few scenes in this that I just did not see coming and have absolutely stuck with me. So when I saw that it was streaming right now on Hulu, that just made my horror heart sing, because I knew that more of you guys would be able to experience this, because when it was in theaters, unfortunately, it just didn't do very well. Not a lot of people saw it. I think the fact that it was released right after Immaculate did not help it at all. And they're very similar movies in a lot of ways, but I do think that they are different enough and both worthy of being seen. So if you haven't seen this, I think it's an absolute must watch right now on Hulu. No Exit is a 2022 dramatic thriller. Directed by Damian Power, it stars Havana Rose Liu, Dennis Heisbert, and Danny Ramirez. It's about a recovering drug addict who discovers a kidnapping in progress while stranded at a rest stop during a blizzard.
I'm gonna get you out of here, okay? Promise.
This is an intense, nail-biting thrill ride. I had a great time with this movie. It'll definitely keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. But it is much more of a thriller than it is horror. But there are definitely a lot of intense, just crazy moments in this. And for a movie that takes place pretty much in one location, it never feels slow, it never feels bogged down, or simple for that matter. Because the complexities of the performances and the way they interact with each other is plenty. But if you're looking for an intense, anxiety-filled thrill ride, this is a fantastic choice.
I cannot allow us to be killed. We are going to finish the job we started.
Upgrade is a 2018 cyberpunk action thriller. Written and directed by Lee Winnell, it stars Logan Marshall Green, Betty Gabriel, and Harrison Gilbertson. It follows a technophobe who is implanted with a chip that allows him to control his body after a mugging left him paralyzed.
They call it STEM, a computer chip that has the potential to change everything. It's a new, better brain. Oh my God.
I am STEM, the system operating your body for you.
It's wild to me. It's been 6 years since this movie was made, and yet it's never been more prevalent, because we hear daily in the news about AI and about Elon Musk embedding chips in people's heads and just all these different technologies that this movie was dealing with and talking about that are right around the corner. We will in our lifetime see stuff like this. So not only is this kind of a visionary tale, but it's an extremely well put together action thriller. Yes, it's not quite horror, it's much more cyberpunk thriller, but it is intense, it's nail-biting, there is violence and brutality. It's just badass and so much fun. I'm just a huge fan of Leigh Whannell as well. I love the way he puts movies together. His directing style, his writing style, he is one of my absolute favorite creators in the world. And I just can't wait to see what he does with his version of Wolfman coming next year. But for such a small budget movie, it doesn't feel that way. This is a very engaging, exciting, just wild time. I think this movie is awesome. It's streaming right now on Netflix, and it's one that I highly recommend. Vampires is a 1998 neo-western action horror movie, directed and scored by John Carpenter. It stars James Woods, Cheryl Lee, and Thomas Ian Griffith. Recovering from an ambush that killed his entire team, a vengeful vampire slayer must retrieve an ancient relic that would allow vampires to walk in the daylight.
Have you ever seen a vampire? Forget whatever you've seen in the movies. It's not like they're seducing everybody in sight with cheesy Euro trash accents, all right? They don't turn into bats. Crosses don't work. If you want to kill one, you drive a wooden stake right through his heart.
As much love as a lot of John Carpenter movies get, this one always flies under the radar. And it's a real shame because this is one of his most stylish, genre-bending films that he ever did. And if you know much about him, you know how much of a huge fan of Westerns he is. And so this was really one that was a true passion for him because he blended together the horror and thriller and the action, but also put in the Western elements that he loved. And a big chunk of this movie is just kind of like the showdown at OK Corral kind of thing. You got these vampires versus the Slayers, and it's so fun because of all those genre-bending elements. Also, James Woods is a real badass in this. He's very much like that Clint Eastwood type. But I just love the look, style, and feel of this so much. It's available right now on Netflix, and if you haven't seen this, it's an absolute must. But even if you have seen it, it's a great rewatch.
What is that?
The Deep House is a 2021 supernatural horror movie, written and directed by Julian Maury and Alexandra Bastillo. It stars James Jagger and Camille Rowe. While diving in a remote French lake, a couple who specialize in urban exploration videos discover a house submerged underwater. But their dive turns into a nightmare when they discover the house was the scene of horrible crimes.
At the bottom of this part of the lake, there's a perfectly preserved house.
Let's go.
All right, off the jump, this is not a perfect movie. It definitely has its flaws, definitely has holes. It's a little slower than I would have liked and a little cookie cutter in some ways as well. But the scene, the way that it's done, the fact that the entire thing was shot actually underwater and that they built this set of this house and everything actually underwater is what makes this movie truly special to me. Because not only is it unique because of that, and the whole thing looks and feels different, the whole concept in and of itself is just not like anything we've seen before. And the way it leads to different types of scares and different types of entities and all of those things, I just think is a lot of fun and very interesting to watch. It is available at the time of recording this on Prime Video with a membership. So as long as you temper expectations and just go into this and let it be what it's gonna be, I think you could definitely enjoy it.
The truth is, I'm not really a good person.
Pearl is a 2022 horror movie, directed by Ty West and co-written by West and Mia Goth. It stars Mia Goth, David Cornsweet, and Emma Jenkins. In 1918, a woman on the brink of madness pursues stardom in a desperate attempt to escape the drudgery, isolation, and loneliness of life on her parents' farm.
Well, caring for your family during these times is admirable, but you only get one take at this life.
If only they would just die.
Pardon?
I'm guessing most of you out there that are interested in watching this have already seen it. So there's two reasons I'm bringing it up this week. One, because it's available on Prime. So if you have a membership, you can watch it on Prime right now. But two, because the new one, Maxine, the sequel to Pearl and X, at the time of recording this, it's basically a month away. So I am extremely excited for it. I loved X, loved Pearl. I truly enjoy them and appreciate them equally, but just in different ways, because X, which is available on Netflix if you want to watch, both of these to get ready for Maxine, X is more of a traditional slasher. A little bit of an artsy slow burn, but in a lot of ways, it's a throwback to Texas Chainsaw Massacre and just a more traditional style slasher horror movie. Whereas Pearl is much more of a psychological thriller, dread-filled, anxiety-driven horror movie, where it's so much about the performance of Mia Goth and setting up who this character is and that time in the world, and something that a lot of women dealt with their men off to war, and some different layered emotions and ideas that are talked about and dealt with in it. It's a pretty amazing, powerful movie. So if you're excited like I am to see Maxine on July 5th, now is a great time to rewatch these movies and get reamped for it. Or if you're someone out there that hasn't seen them, you really should, because I think Pearl and X as well are both just fantastic, can't miss horror movies.
And in the end, you only have one choice. Rise. Or die.
Hostiles is a 2017 sci-fi horror movie. Written and directed by Matthew Turi, it stars Brittany Ashworth, Gregory Fitoussi, and Mohamed Arasi. Juliet, a lone survivor of an apocalyptic era, fights to survive against hunger, thirst, a broken leg, and strange, disturbing creatures that only come out at nighttime.
All that's left now are memories. But sometimes the memories can save your life. Because every mistake you make it for a reason.
I really enjoy this movie. Yes, it's a small one. Yeah, the special effects don't always hold up in it, but I really like the landscape, the style, the way the creatures and type of things, the way they look, the meaning behind things, what things turn out to be, just all the mysteries in it, and the apocalyptic landscape. I've always been a sucker for apocalyptic wasteland kind of movies. And I think for a small, low budget one, this does it as good as you could ask for. It's badass, it's action packed, it's creepy, it's unnerving, it's just a lot of fun and definitely worth your time. Meander is a 2020 French sci-fi horror movie, written and directed by Matthew Turi. It stars Gaia Weiss and Peter Franzen. The story's about a woman who wakes up to find she is trapped inside of a series of tubes, with dangerous obstacles and traps everywhere that she must escape to survive.
Help! Help!
So this is another one by Matthew Turi, and I thought it was fun to do a double feature, so to speak, since they're both on Tubi right now, and I think they're both really entertaining, especially on the same kind of level. They're both small movies, lower budget. There isn't just this grand, amount of effects or budget to work with, so it is kind of a simple, stripped down kind of story, but he's got vision, and it is really cool to see the style and what he's able to put in to his movies, even if he doesn't have, huge Hollywood money. And this one is even more simplified, even more stripped down. But I think this one is even better. This one just really focuses on this one actress who's in this horrific situation. It's very much like The Cube, but she's all alone. Or if you've seen Tin Can, it also kind of has some elements of that in it, because she's stuck in this situation that is unique, looks unique. The traps and the whole structure of this movie is creative and unique, and that is the other thing I really appreciate about it. But it has some mystery to it, and as the story goes, kind of like in The Cube, you start to little by little see what's actually going on here, what the reality of this situation is. But if you enjoy simple yet complex, performance-driven sci-fi horror movies, this is a great pick. So do yourself a favor this weekend, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn and your candy, and enjoy! I want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the Ghost Pirate crew, to you guys over on Patreon, and to the channel members over here. You guys mean so much to me. And if you would like to help support this channel over on Patreon, there's a link down in the description. Or if you want to become a channel member and help support the channel that way, there's a button right down there that says join. But like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And if you enjoyed this, click right here to watch me talk about 10 more movies I recommend. And I'll see you guys next time.